Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another video, and I have terrifying news. I can no longer continue doing this channel. We're gonna have to cancel things. I'm sorry. I apologize to all my subscribers, but we're going to have to stop our YouTube career. I lost the gold visor. Yeah, can't find it anywhere. It's buried in piles of cardboard somewhere. Thought I had it, and yeah, I'm really fucking pissed off about it because it was the only gold visor I could find. Ugh, damn it. Not happy. Not happy at all. Hopefully we find it again, and that will be when I pick up my YouTube career again. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I'm not gonna quit YouTube, but either way, I can't find the fucking thing, and I'm not very happy about it. Anyway, so today we're gonna talk about a few things about so you want to get in real estate. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about some cards I'm grading for this channel. So we're gonna see what some of these get. This is gonna be an interesting one. We're gonna go over the list. Aerodactyl from Base Set, which I found this for $12. I think it's going to possibly grade a 10, which they're like 5 something in a 10. Next up, Birthday Pikachu. That little fucker's mint. I think it'll grade a 10. Two Venusaurs from 151. This Alakazam, I'm like 90% sure we'll get a PSA 10. And this is the card I already know is a guaranteed PSA 10 with no problem. The Lugia. Ogerpon, just because it's like $100 in a PSA 10, so why not? Hopefully it recovers all the money we lost from that ETB. Mew VMAX, this card I can guarantee is going to hit a 10. This is the big one that we're going to be praying for, is Glaceon VMAX. Glaceon level X. We just have to, if we get a PSA 10 on this, it's like 7,500 or 8 grand, something like that. Hopefully we hit it. Hydro Dragon. Another Venusaur. Skymory. Metagross. Gardevoir. And Drowsy. And then we are also going to grade. What else do we have? My grading pile has been building the fuck up. We have 3 Squirtles too from Stellar Crown that I think are all going to grade 10s. All of them bitches. Look at this. So hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. Anyway, yeah, that's all the cards we're gonna grade. There might be a couple other level X's I need to grade, but either way. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is why borrowing money is not really as bad as people think it is. And I'll explain why here in a second. So, like, let's say you want to get in the real estate market and, you have the money to buy a house or whatever, and you're like, okay, well, I want to buy a house and I want to own it outright. I'm here to tell you that's boring as fuck. Like, no one wants to just own a house outright. As nice as it sounds, like, because I've done this, your main house, yeah, to own it outright's kind of nice, but if you're flipping houses, you don't really want to do that. Like, you're better off just borrowing money, like getting a mortgage, using your available capital to fix it and do the things you need to do, and then whenever you sell it, pay the mortgage off. Then take your profits and move it on to the next house and basically keep doing that. And I'll explain why. So you only borrow money at like 5 to 7%, which really isn't that bad. Now, if you go to get a car loan, it's like 31%. You don't want to be in the 31%. Yeah, you don't want to do that. It's called, what is it again? The car industry has a different way of calling it. APR. 31% APR. You don't want to find out what APR is, trust me. It will really make you cry. But 31% APR on a car is like 31% interest, which this is why I say don't take out car loans, but house loans are not a bad idea. Like if you already own your own home, think about it. What's really the point, that you can take out a fucking loan on your house. It's at 5 to 7%. I think that's the going rates. And let's say your house is like 100 grand or whatever, like just a hypothetical guess. you're better off just mortgaging that and using the 100K for investing. And because borrowing 100K or 200K or 300K, wherever you're at, or 50K or whatever, at 7% is basically just like getting free money. Anything under 7% is like free money because, as we've seen, Pokemon pretty much runs up like almost double every year. You know what I mean? Like, at least. So it basically does pay off to invest your money and have it grow and not really worry about it in your own home because eventually your investments will just pay for that house anyway. So that's kind of the way to go, And I learned that the hard way a few times. Just walk in and be like, oh, I can just buy a house. I don't. No, you're better off just borrowing the money. Like, I know people don't like the word interest, but 5 to 7% is basically just like free money. Especially if you have boxes that are going up even like 30 or 40% a year, you're winning. So what, you got to pay them 5 to 7%? That's not a big deal. Your shit just went up like 50%. You know what I mean? So if you can outperform borrowing the money, it's actually worth it instead of tying all of your capital into real estate. It's not a very wise thing to do, actually, and I've done this. I've tied the majority of my capital in real estate because boomers kind of tell you to do that, and I was always taught by my dad to do that. Tie your money up in, buying a big house, and it'll go up in value, and that is true. Like, I've done that, and it has worked, but really just take the mortgage out. Keep your available cash to be able to do available cash things. Now, next thing I want to discuss on the channel is Unbroken Bonds hitting fucking $2,300 a booster box. Let's go. Almost sold it for $1,800. That's why you got to be patient. I'm telling you guys. That is why you got to be patient. And I'm pretty much just in the point where I'm not buying much more, but I'm not selling much. I'm definitely not selling. So that's just where you got to be, man. But Evolving Skies hit $2,500. Two of them beautiful buggers back there. You got to love it. What's next? The ETBs have went up. Oh, Prismatic Pokemon Center ETBs. Another banger I wanted to talk about is, even though they've reprinted the ETBs, they actually rebounded. They're back up to 110 for regular. But when I was saying to buy these up at like $170, $180, $200, they're now like $230, $240, $250. And there's a lot of people already asking $300 for these. I mean, they're not getting that. But, I mean, I think you're going to see these hit $300 to $400 to $500. Like, fairly soon, really. With like, surprisingly soon. Because they're just not reprinting the Pokemon Center ETBs. And the Prismatic Pokemon Center ETBs were just sick. So, I don't know. Like, do with that advice of what you would, but some people said it's not investable, and now look at it. So, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But next up is Chilling Reign of Lost Origin, one of my subscribers. I won't say their name, but they said they picked a Lost Origin case over Chilling, which I don't blame you. I would probably have done the same thing. To be totally honest, I think it was a good move. I would have bought the Lost Origin case for $400 more. Because, like, Chilling's about $3,000 a case. Lost Origin is $3,400, but that Giratina and the Aerodactyl, I feel like, will outperform Chilling. But I still wouldn't sleep on Chilling either. I mean, it's still really a good set, but yeah, I think the Giratina will be more timeless, you know what I mean? So, I guess we'll see what happens, but yeah, that's why I'm sitting on two cases back there. Like, I'm not letting those ever go until they're like 7 to 10K at least. So yeah, I'm never selling those. But still, I think Chilling Reign at $400 a box, or $450 or $5, wherever it's at right now. Yeah, still not a bad pickup. Like, I still think you're gonna see these be $1,000, and we're all just gonna be like, damn, just a really, really good set. So those are my hot picks for the week, and my life advice, And I want to get back into a little bit more life advice of taking out loans. Like, it's really not that big of a deal to owe the bank money. I mean, as long as you're making good on your investments that you can pay the bank back, you're not doing bad, And that's just the point of what I'm trying to get through to everyone, that borrowing money is not such a bad thing, It's actually more boring to own, like real estate and stuff like that, because it just doesn't, like, you don't do anything with your money. It just sits there, you know? So, like, well, you park, like, let's say like you park 90 grand or 100 grand in real estate. It just sits there. You don't really gain any money. You might gain like 5% a year, which is real small. And yeah, you're not paying interest and stuff like that, but 5 to 7% interest isn't shit when your investments are making 100% interest a year. So that's kind of the better way to go, is have your money freed up so you can actually invest and, flip when your stuff gets more expensive, instead of being like strapped for money. Like, there's no need to really do that. So anyway, that's just the point of this video. Yeah, I hope things work out for everyone. I hope, like I said, I'm buying this shit right with you, so, it is what it is. Just stay the course and be patient. Hold your stuff and don't fucking sell, because it just gets worse. So anyway, that's all we have for this one, for the night talk, and hope you guys enjoyed it. And damn, we gotta find that fucking visor, bro. That's all I can think about. I care about it more than my Evolving Skies boxes, damn it. Anyway, that's all we got for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. We're out.